Guys, today we got love and rage. NERDSoul. Late Ill Kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people, today? Oh yeah, we're coming with another wonderful episode of Specials. A little bit of Rock the Spot as well, because I'm joined to my left by an awesome, wonderful person, writer, entrepreneur, creator, all wrapped up in one. Tricia Logan, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Now, we met at the Belize Film
Commissioner event.
And you told me that you had a book.
Yes.
Which is?
Love and Rage.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You dropped it. People are having, a good time reading it.
Reading it, yes.
Cool. There's two main people in this book that I want to get into. If you could give them an idea of the book before we start, because there's two characters I want to talk about. Before we start, what is Love and Rage?
Okay, Love and Rage is a book about domestic violence. I'm actually pushing and fighting the fight against domestic violence for these women that can't speak up for themselves. They're too scared, So I'm trying to be their voice right now. And by being their voice, this book that I wrote is basically based on my life. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm passionate about it. And since my book came out and it's been on TV or been, advertised on Facebook and all that, I've been working with 3 people. But if I help one, I did my job.
Cool.
And this book has been 20 years in the making.
Wow.
20 years it took me to write this book. And I still have the scars, as you can see, when I was sliced up as a domestic violence victim. I was a victim of domestic violence.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So writing this book is not only empowering, but it's also cathartic.
That's right.
And then also maybe a telltale to be able to kind of warn folks off and show them some red flags maybe.
That is exactly right. This book, I didn't spare anything. I mean, from the love scene all the way, to falling in love and then becoming a victim.
It's sweet at the beginning.
Yes, it's like, always the love. That's where the love come in. And then at some point, this person become enraged. And that's the part of the rage, because if someone that you love, how could you hurt that person? All of a sudden, out the blues, all this love turned into rage. So that's why my book is called Love and Rage. And I didn't hold back on anything. So you guys can be the judge of that.
I wanted to get into that because you do kind of lay it out very plainly.
Very plain.
And it's it can get rough at sometimes.
Yes.
But this book kind of follows along 2 characters of Tracy Harry.
Which is me, Tracy.
Yes. So describe Tracy to me at the time of this book.
At the time of this book, before I wrote the book, because the book is, like I said, 20 years later. Well, no, I need to correct that. It happened. I wrote this book immediately after the events all happened, and I separated from this person because mental-wise, I was getting broken down. I was mentally gone to the point where, if you read my book, you'll see I was at a point where I wanted to commit suicide to get away. Thank God I didn't. But Tracy was young. I would say dumb, stupid, learning about life. Didn't know much about
life.
Naive,
kind of naive,
much, very much. I was
very trusting.
Correct. And I'm still trusting up to today. I haven't learned from that yet, because anybody I meet, they would tell you, it's like my doors is open. I would take in strangers in my house to help them. This is me. And many times I've been told, don't do that. You don't know who you're, and I have that trusting. I'm that trusting person that until you do something to me, then I look at you a different way. But before, I'm blind to any negativity, put it that way. I trust everyone until
they prove otherwise.
Otherwise, yes.
All right, so you have Tracy, young girl, very trusting, naive, hopeful, if you will, but you
very
also
much.
have Harry, and in this book, what kind of person is Harry at the time of this book?
At the time, you got kind of two sides of him. He was much older.
Yes.
Very much so. He was like almost 12 years my senior, if not a little bit more. And so he's been in this game for many years. I mean, he knew what to say, how to say it, when to say it, manipulating, but at one time, very sweet, very loving, very caring until until you say, okay, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. And then you see another side of him.
Yeah.
So it's like you see all this sweet side because, okay, I gave up. Let's do this. Let's try it out. Let's work. And then when you see another side come up, because I'm like, no, this is wrong. Because I'm going to mention it. He was a married man, but a married man saying, oh, me and my wife are not together, or I'm just staying in the house, but we're not together because of the kids. Yeah. So that was what was like
the separating
correct. And I believed him, because I was stupid. I was learning about life.
Yeah, and you had never really been in a situation like
that before. And so, boom, I trusted him, and he knew how to play his cards. Because, as I mentioned, he's been 12 years into this game more than me. And later on I found out he was a player. He was a player. He had many women while he was married. And its story was the same. Yes, I'm there, but I'm not with her.
Yeah.
Things like that.
All right, so when you wrote this book was very, it was about a life-changing event for you. It was empowering, it was cathartic, but who is this book for?
Well,
who do you write this book for? I mean, outside of yourself.
Outside myself, this book is the voice. I'm saying the voice of these women that right now think that they are alone in this matter. They can't come out. They're too scared to step out or reach for help. This is what this book is telling you. Look at me right now. Look at me. He could tell you, I'm in my restaurant right now. I'm in my restaurant right now. I am working hard, and I didn't get weak. You could have two choices. Either you go into drugs, you give up on life, or you you become empowered.
Yeah.
You make something of your life.
Out
yes.
on that.
It's like I use that to say, no, I'm not going to be a victim anymore. Let me get my dreams together. And this restaurant, as you see, is dedicated to my mom. She was a victim of domestic violence. And the thing is, we grow up in a domestic violence home, so we think it's okay. No, it's not. No, it's not. We think it's okay because we saw my mom being abused and she didn't do anything about it. Or for the young men that do the abuse, they saw their dad beating on their mom. They think it's okay to beat on.
It's kind of like how a normal relationship goes.
So they grow up with that mentality that it's okay. No, it's not. No. But it comes from the home. We got to break that mold. We got to break, that from the home. And that's what this book is for, is to tell us, the women, no, it's not right. If I did it, you can do it. Believe me, if I did it, you can do it.
Word. Now, with that said, you finished the book. You had your book release. Tons of people came out.
Yes.
Had a great time. But you also have another side to your entrepreneurism, which is the restaurant.
Yes.
Starting the restaurant, opening the restaurant. And that's a whole nother side to what you're creating from just your spirit, your individuality, and also your entrepreneurial spirit. What's it like trying to balance book, restaurant, family, kids, all that?
Wow, That is a good question. By the grace of God, that's all I could say. Because I worked 2 jobs. And after I get out from that, I'm working the restaurant and I'm helping people otherwise. Like I said, right now I'm basically working with 3 people that reached out to me after my book launch and after being through, some people have heard of me. All the way from Georgia, another lady from Chicago, they've reached out to me as well. Not only from LA and also from Belize.
Cool.
And I'm to say that just by hearing my voice, it's helping them to know if you need anything. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning and you need to talk to me or you need to reach out to me. Reach out to me. I'm here. I'm not fake. You have met. Well, you see how I am.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yes.
Believe me.
Very open. Very inviting.
Very much so. You step in my home. Hey, the stove is there, the refrigerator. You see how when you came in, your refrigerator is
Definitely.
there. That's me. You're gonna feel. Don't believe that this is just because of the book. No, I'm not making anything from this book because most of what I'm making, some of it is gonna go to the domestic violence home in Belize. I'm trying to support them because it's a domestic home that the only way it's surviving is through donations. So
okay.
I've sent barrel of clothes. I have another barrel sitting in my living room that I'm already going to send. And then I got 2 more plans with barrels because they need every help that they can. And that's what I'm here. God is the only one that is keeping me going.
That's a wonderful thing. You got the restaurant, and what's the name of the restaurant? You're getting ready to launch?
Christina's, based on my mom. It's actually dedicated to my mom, Christina Jones, and the restaurant is called Christina's Belizean and American Cuisine, and we're located right here at 67th and Western, right at the corner of 67th and Western, 6619 Southwestern in Los Angeles, California. In October, we're going to have our grand opening. I'm still working on my restaurant, but I wanted to open up on her anniversary, the day she passed away, which was October 3rd. And we want to do the grand opening somewhere between that time.
Cool. So you have the book telling your story. You have so much entrepreneurial spirit with the restaurant, but you also have activism with putting your money where your mouth is.
That's right.
Supporting the young ladies. If there was something that you could say to someone who is maybe reading this book, but maybe if you were to give Tracy, that might pick up this book, and is kind of struggling at this point, or what would you say to Harry at this point that might be someone who's Harry that might be reading this book and doesn't even know that they're Harry. You know what I'm saying?
The part on Harry, I would suggest, if you love someone, you step back because at some point you know what you're doing. You really do know what you're doing. From the moment you have to lift up your hand at a woman and you put your hand on a woman, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's not love. And if you're doing this because you say, oh, I don't want to lose you, you actually push that person further. That person may be with you only because they're scared of you. My advice to that is seek some help. If you love someone, seek some help. When you get yourself together, then you can come back to this person and say, no, I have something better to offer you. For Tracy, someone like Tracy, get away. Your life is not worth it to die for. It's not worth dying for. That's what I mean. Especially if you have kids, you're not doing any favors to that child. You're actually destroying that child's life. And if you love your children, think about them. If you don't want to think about yourself, think about them. Because that's what mostly empowered me, was my kids. It's like, I always tell everybody, you could mess with me, but don't mess with my children or my mom. Yeah. Those are the 2 things that you would see a different side of me on. And my main advice to you is seek help. Reach out to someone that's willing to help you, and able to say, come on over here. Even if it's the couch, but you need to step away from that relationship. It's not healthy. It's not.
Word. Well, thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for sharing your story, the book. And guys, you can check the link below. Love and Rage. Where can they get it at?
You can contact me on my Facebook, Tricia Logan. Right now, we're working on getting it on Amazon, Kindle, several other things. I'm not remembering it offhand. But right now, if you want it, you can inbox me at tricialogan123@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I mail it out. Right now, I've been mailing out books like left to right, to Chicago, to all over the place. And I've gotten so much good reviews on it. People have reached out and say they're so happy to read my book because they are currently in domestic violence situation. But what they did, they reached out to me and said, you know what? You have inspired me. I will seek help. And that's what I want. That's what this book is for.
That's what's up.
Yes.
Well, guys, hey, that's us to you saying thank you for checking us out. Check out Love and Rage if you are in the LA area after October 4th. Check out Christina's. And from us to you, we're just saying thanks for chilling out and peace.
Thank you. Much love.